Welcome back everyone to Punny Plays the Lore Master, and we are back here with Coroneer to find out what we're going to do in response to the rather strange words given to us by Nar.
Nar's words remain as cloudy as ever. It was worth trying.
Yes, you should go to Candate at the campsite of the Great Company in the grove of trees east of the Ukluth village of Hlanuk, and tell him that we are no closer to learning why Nar spoke of the paths of the dead. Candate is a master of lore and may have thought of something. Well, all right, I'll find out if Candate has learned anything. Hello there, Candate. We've got quite a puzzle back at Nar's Peak.
The mystery of Nar's knowledge must remain unsolved for a time yet.
Yes. Will he not tell us how he knows the words of Elrond? Will he not tell us how he knows of the paths of the dead? It seems a mystery that must remain unsolved for some time. Do you know the story of the Oathbreakers and the paths of the dead? Perhaps a recounting of that tale is in order, and you will be more familiar with the puzzle set before us. Do you wish to hear it? I suppose whether or not I wish to hear it, I'm going to hear it anyway.
I will tell you the tale of the Oathbreakers and the paths of the dead.
After the destruction of Númenor in the Second Age, Elendil and his sons came to Middle-earth and knew they had to start anew or perish. And so the kingdom of Arnor and Gondor were founded, Arnor in the north and Gondor in the south. At the hill of Erech in the kingdom of Gondor, Isildur set a great black stone that was brought out of Númenor before its downfall. It is said that the stone stands there still, unchanged, even as it was in the later years of the Second Age. That is where and when our story begins. Very well. Let us head into the story of the Paths of the Dead, where we'll be playing a soldier of Minas Ithil.
In the Second Age of Middle-earth, Isildur called the men of the mountains to the hill of Erech to discuss their loyalties.
Here we are in the Second Age, where we are now in Gondor, quite a ways up here, over here at the Hill of Erech. Hello there. This is the place, Iarvund, the Hill of Erech. You stayed behind at the encampment when our Lord was last here, but I was in the party that wrestled the stone to the summit. Several days of toil, true, but I can think of no better way to mark the escape of the Númenor sons from the deluge. Seeing the forest we came through from this height gives me a greater appreciation for its beauty, and I forgive its branches the many scratches we sustained. This new kingdom of Gondor is a beautiful land indeed. May it stand evermore. This way, Eärvund. Isildur has gone ahead, and we must not let our lord wait on our arrival, of course. To the summit! All right, to the summit indeed.
The kingdoms of Arnor and Gondor were still in their infancy. Isildur knew he would need allies if Gondor was to flourish.
And we head up, and up, and up, and further up, and I presume there's going to be a stone somewhere when we get up there. Now, I wonder how much this has changed between this version of the Hill of Erech and the version you see. Ah, there it is. And the version that you see when you are in Gondor later in the game. Because it's at least 3,000 years. And these trees, you know, pines maybe, or spruce. Actually, maybe spruce. Alright, so you have these spruce trees here. How long does a spruce tree live? My guess is going to be about 500 years maybe, or something like that would be a wild guess on the matter. So therefore, if we got about 500 years, and it's been 3,000 years, that means these trees would have been replaced at least 6 times over in that time. Probably a few more times if you throw in an occasional forest fire and stuff like that. Hello, Isildur! Irrelevant, is it? Yes, I thought so. This has been a year of toil, Eärvund, but in moments like this, breathing the clean air and looking out over the forest of this Middle Earth, I can almost believe that this is home. Well, it is now, considering what happened to Numenor.
Isildur called the men of the White Mountains to treat with him at Erech.
Do you think that they will come, Eärvund? We have peace for sure, but if Sauron returns, we will need allies. We will need the allegiance of the men of the mountain. Will they grant it? Interesting question. Look for them on the north slope of the hill. Alright, north slope of the hill.
At last they approached, a small group of men and their king.
Oh, here they come. Come running away. You are the son of Elendil the Tall. You are the one called Isildur. I am. I am Erech. I am king of the mountain. Why have you called us to this place? The kingdom of Gondor is young, but already you have seen signs of its strength. From over the sea we have come, bringing us with us the majesty undreamed of in Middle-earth. We desire your friendship. Gondor can provide you with great stores of knowledge and power. Understand this, Isildur, son of Elendil. When my sworn men were young, traders told them of tales of the great land beyond the sea. Now the men of that place have sprung forth, as if from legend. They erect mighty towers and great cities. They perform wonders. My lord Isildur does not ask for your reverence, he asks for your sword arms. Be still, Erchineb. The forces of Sauron are scattered and leaderless, but it has been so before. Will you swear an oath to fight against him, should he return? I will swear it by this very stone, this sign of the might of Numenor's sons. On this stone, I swear that I and my people will stand with you and fight against Sauron, should he return.
It was done. The allegiance of the men of the mountains was secured.
And this is a great day. What do you think about this great day? King Erech has led us for these many years, and his word is hewn from stone like that of the mountain itself, with roots as deep. Let Sauron show himself again at his peril. He would dare it not when confronted with we men of the mountain and you, the sons of Numenor, and now Gondor. Ooh, those are strong words. What about you? brutal. There is a great deal we can learn from you and from the kingdom of Gondor. We are now as brothers, are we not? The bond of our oath will tie us together, and let our shared enemies tremble, Gondor and the mountain. Even stronger words. And what about their king? At this moment, there are none in this land more proud than I, King Erech of the mountain. There is so much our people can learn from each other, and by sharing our strength, we will be the stronger for it. Your lord Isildur was wise to reach out to us, and we are honored to have been called to this place. Should Sauron return, he will face our combined might and be fearful. Really strong words. It is done. If Sauron returns, we will be ready to face him. What a day this has been, Eärfund. We must learn from Isildur's example. Do not undervalue the worth of our alliances. It would be easy to look upon the wonders of Gondor, even this early in its life, and think we can conquer any enemy. But Sauron is conniving, and if he does somehow return, as Isildur fears, we will be glad for the strong warriors of the mountain. So we shall be.
The years passed, and the shadow grew again in Middle-earth. No word came from Garth Lothig, a fortress in Gondor.
And now we have come to Morthond, this fortress, to find out what happened here. Hello, doorway. Beriandar, this is terrible. Look what has happened to Garth Lothig. This is the reason we have heard naught from the defenders. They are slain, and the fort is taken. How could such an evil have come to Gondor without our knowledge? Isildur, what do we do? You know what we must do, doorway. We will fight our way inside and reclaim the fort for Gondor. Yes, we will. This is the work of orcs, Berendar. You and Doorway come with me. We will fight our way into the fort while the rest of our band approaches Garth Lothig from the flank. They will rue the day they spilled Gondorian blood on our soil. All right. Berendar, Doorway, this way. There we go. Let's go. The orcs must have assembled these war machines in the shadows of the cliffs. The defenders sealed the doors, and the orcs settled in for a long siege. But this was not a long siege. Prepare yourselves! And why wasn't there a long siege? That's an interesting question. Of course, usually in these games, siege warfare isn't exactly accurately depicted. Mainly, of course, because you're trying to have an interesting game. And siege warfare is one of those things that takes weeks, months, and there are a few occasions, even years, and that's of course assuming that they're successful at all. This way, while we have surprise on our side, up the claws way. Because of course, the usual way a siege succeeds is through starvation. Because it's very hard to take a fortified area. Very difficult to do so. It can be held by a surprisingly small force, assuming that they're in any way competent, and in a society like this, you would hope that most of the people there are competent in doing so. Even those who aren't normally field competent may have some ability to protect against a siege, or and hold a castle and stuff like that. These orcs are different from those of the others we've seen. Something drives them. But of course, in games, sieges tend to be rather quick. Also, very often in novels, unless the length of the siege is somehow important for the story. Of course, in The Lord of the Rings, you do have this little problem that you have these orcs that are driven by Sauron the Mad and doesn't care how many orcs are lost in the process. And then you have Grond there, but it'll still be pretty hard to take over Minas Tirith even after Grond busts through the whole thing. But of course, they do have terror on their side, and if you see, what's Sauron's taking this place? We'll scrub our walls and slay every orc. That's the thing, is that when you have terror on your side and you make your opponents completely cower, that's one way to take care of that advantage in there, and that's the only thing that I could think it really could make a siege really short in, well, at least in Lord of the Rings, because you've got the Nazgûl. Now, let's see. I don't know the status of the Nazgûl at this point, because not much is known about them that I can think of. Because at least in LOTRO terms, they make it sound like the Nazgûl are first really seen at the Last Alliance. The drums are getting louder. Ready yourselves, friends. So the Nazgûl might not have been a factor at this point, because they certainly would have been known if they were responsible for what went on here. But their presence at Minas Tirith, for example, could, I presume, help to shorten the time of a siege. You'd probably have to rotate the troops on there when some of them get terrified for the Nazgûl. You need fresh troops up there to help defend the walls. That's all I can think of at the moment. But of course, it sort of became... Oh, first time I had to use some healing. Of course, in the end, the whole thing became a little bit moot, because we don't know what would have happened after the great walls went down, how long the Gondorians will last. And I would think that with as many soldiers as they had there defending the city, they could still have held out a pretty long time, because it would be difficult to get Grond to take down too many more places. The ranks thin, press onwards. Because if Grond could knock down the walls of Minas Tirith, they wouldn't have bothered going towards the gate in the first place. So I'm thinking then that you'd have the Nazgul trying to sow confusion, and if you have people falling back and other people trying to take their place, they'll be running into each other in all the confined space and using the confined area against the Gondorians. That's probably the most likely strategy I can think of that could be involved in there. Now, of course, this is 3,000 years before all that. At least. So, there is that. And it can't be too much longer before that, because this is during the lifetime of Isildur and Elendil. And we know that Isildur is still alive at the start of the Third Age. Not for very long, of course, but he gets killed due to being shot by orcs, not by... Alright, here we go. Let's take care of this. Okay, good. I stunned that guy. Good. And this is where I have to start worrying about healing seriously in this battle. And let's see. Doorway. First to get healed. Okay, good. Now I have to heal Isildur. That's the tricky thing. I've got to make sure everybody gets a nice share of healing, including myself. That's the only way I know of really failing this instance, is that somebody takes an injury and you're not paying attention to them. There you go. I'm here more as a... There it is. I have a slow healing in here. I've got a stun, so for some CC. I've got some healing. I'm almost more of a... My roles... Well, actually, I was going to say Lore Master. Maybe Captain is probably a better one, especially considering that I am a soldier with melee skills and stuff like that. So I suppose liking myself more to a Captain would be it. Or a captain in the making, seeing, of course, I am below Isildur, obviously. It maybe has been a good idea for me to have healed Doorway instead of myself. Oops. See, that's the problem there. Okay, Doorway. Yeah. Okay, you get healed. I want... Troll! Stun the troll! I think I stunned the wrong troll. There we go. Now we got the... Okay, you get a stun. Good. And everybody else is doing... Well, Isildur could use a little bit of healing. Yeah, alright, there we go. And you get a stun. We try to keep a troll stunned constantly, then we can have a better chance of getting through this alive. Hey, and we're all at full health, but I am running out of power. Okay, I don't need a heal right now, so let's try to kill that troll as quickly as possible. You didn't stun me that time. Okay, one troll down, and the other troll is almost dead. If I knew he was that close to dying. We are victorious! If anything, this day can be called a victory. Beriadar, look at that idol the orcs have erected. Tell me it is not what it seems to be? I think it's what it seems to be. an idol of Sauron.
It was the proof Isildur hoped not to find. Sauron had returned.
Trouble! I think we've got a problem. We know that this means, Beradar. It means that these orcs are not leaderless, but were given purpose by Sauron, their master.
And so Isildur summoned the men of the mountains to Erech to fulfill their oath.
Who am I this time? It does not look good, Beradar. So it looks like I'm still Beradar, not the person who was up here last time. The men of the mountains should have been here by now, but they have sent no word and made no appearance. Well, that's not good news. I have never seen our lord Isildur like this. It may be best for King Erech if he does not come here at all. Uh-oh. Not good. Still no sign of them? Our wait has ended, Beradar. King Erech and some of his people now climb at the summit. They are late, but their support against Sauron will excuse them for their tardiness.
At last they approached.
Well, this is a huge, fine group. I expected you earlier than this, Erech. And why have you brought so few men? We have not come to fight for you. Your strength is nothing before that of Sauron. What are you saying, Erech? You swore an oath to fight against Sauron.
But the men of the mountains refused to fulfill their oath. They had worshipped Sauron in the dark years and thought they would be rewarded.
You do not frighten us. Sauron will crush your kingdom as he did before. Hold! Death is too good for you, Erech. You will be the last king of your people. This curse I lay upon you and all your folk, never to rest until your oath be fulfilled. You will not know the restful sleep of death. You will not know a day without the regret of your broken oath. This war will last for uncounted years, and you will be summoned again before its end. Now go! Leave this place! My words will follow you for your restless eternity!
Before him, his curse echoing in their ears, they fled to their homes in the mountains. But they could never escape Isildur's curse.
They could never escape the curse. I did not believe the whispers, Beradar. I had thought Erech's people would be as good as their word, but it seems the rumors were true. They worshipped Sauron in secret during the dark years, and now he has returned. They cast their lot with his. Standing here upon Erech, I look from the height to see the great distance, even into the years ahead. Know this, my words to Erech were not empty. This war will last for countless years, and if Gondor defies Sauron, Erech's people will be summoned once more before the end. They will never know peace until they have fulfilled their oath. This I vow, and let all bear witness to it. Let all bear witness to it.
And it is said they linger still, hungering for the rest they shall never have.
What does this story have to do with our current adventures? We'll find that out in the next episode of Piney Plays, The Lore Master.